Voice of Indonesia.
Well, listeners and viewers of Voice of Indonesia, as we know that there are millions of Indonesian people stay abroad and they live in many different countries. And as Indonesian people who live and stay abroad, of course, they need information about what they have to do, the rule they have to know about living abroad, and then the most important thing is about how to protect themselves. So here in our studio today, we have the Director of the Protection of the Indonesian Citizen of the Indonesian Foreign Affairs Minister, Bapak Judha Nugraha. How are you, Pak Judha?
Very good, Pak Pane.
Welcome.
How are you?
Good, I'm good, Pak. Welcome to the studio of Voice of Indonesia, Pak.
Thank you very much. This is indeed a good pleasure for me to join Pak Pane discussing the most pertinent issue for our foreign minister is the protection of Indonesian national officers.
Yes, Pak Judha. Yeah, Pak Judha, today here in the Radio Republic Indonesia building, Sari, that's it, artificial friend of the Indonesian migrant workers, is launched and introduced to the public. So, the Indonesian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, together with the UN Women, of course, launched this artificial intelligence-based virtual assistance, Sari. So, Pak Judha, can you explain to our listeners and viewers what is Sari actually, and how important is this for Indonesian people abroad?
Yeah. So first of all, we just officially launched Sari, artificial friend for Indonesian migrant. So this is actually our response to the growing challenges of protection Indonesian migrant workers overseas. First, I can give some figure about the magnitude of providing protection for Indonesian migrant workers overseas. Last year, we handled more than 97,000 of cases, mostly coming from Indonesian migrant workers. And the challenges is not only the number of cases is skyrocketing, but the complexity of the cases is become more challenging. So, based on that background, there is no other way for us because we have limited resources in our Indonesian mission offices. Yes, we have more than 128 Indonesian mission offices, but they are all human. They have some limitation to provide protection. That's why, because of the number of cases and the complexity of the cases is growing very fast, there is no other way for us other than adopting the technology, especially information technology. And Ministry of Foreign Affairs have developed two digital platforms. First, we call it Peduli WNI. Can be accessed website www.peduliwni.kemlu.go.id. And the second platform is a mobile application. We call it Safe Travel Kemlu. Can be downloaded in App Store or Play Store. And then we put another feature in safe travel using artificial intelligence. We call it Sari. So this artificial intelligence is our response to these growing challenges in providing protection for Indonesian migrant workers. Basically, this feature, artificial intelligence, can respond to Indonesian migrant workers overseas who seek information with empathy. That's the quality of this Sari is they can respond with empathy, not judging, and then they can provide information fastly and accurately. So that's one of the reason why we developed Sari, and then how the Sari could help Indonesian migrant workers if they have facing problem overseas.
Okay, Pak Judha, just now you mentioned that there are 97 cases and they are very complex. So how complex is the problem that our migrant workers face abroad?
Yeah. So out of 97,000 cases we handled overseas last year, majority of cases is immigration cases, mostly for Indonesian migrant workers living undocumented. And then secondly is labor cases, because that's quite understandable that because majority of Indonesian living overseas is migrant worker.
Yes.
And then other cases like criminal cases, civil cases, or other cases like accident and so on. But I can share with you all that the number of cases, the majority of cases coming from immigration offense, as well as labor cases.
Okay, Pak Judha, you also mentioned that we have 128 missions abroad, right? So why do we still need this SARI, and which belongs to Safe Travel and also Peduli Indonesia? Since I think you say that the staffs there, they are still human, but in terms of just say services, I think machine, artificial intelligence and human will be different while serving people, right?
Sure, that's the most important thing. We develop SARI as an assistant, as a first responder for Indonesian living overseas who seek information from us.
Okay.
Yeah. But of course, we are not designing a SARI to replace human being, not to replace our staff in Indonesian mission offices, because they are the core of providing protection.
See.
Why we develop SARI? Because, as I mentioned earlier, that the number of cases is growing, and then there are limitations in terms of human resources in our Indonesian mission.
Yes.
Let's say, if one day we receive maybe 100 reports of incident happening overseas in one particular Indonesian mission, and there are only maybe 2 staff, so they have limitation to respond quickly. In other case, maybe among these 100 cases, there are life-threatening cases that we need to handle quickly. This is the limitation. If we are only depend on human resources, so we develop SARI to assist us to provide information for non-life-threatening situation, for information.
Yes.
For cases who facing life-threatening situation, then need quick response from human, then that's the role of Indonesian mission. The staff, consular staff, in every Indonesian mission, we have a hotline number, which is operated by our consular staff.
Okay, just let's talk this more technically, Pak Judha. Just say, we have a case like I'm traveling abroad and suddenly I lost my passport. So can the SARI answer my question that just say that where can I have a new passport so I can return back to Jakarta, for example?
That's the most question asked to our Indonesian mission actually.
Oh, I see.
So there are so many cases that Indonesian lost their passport, and how they can get a new travel document from our Indonesian mission. Yes, SARI can answer that question. So first, SARI can give empathy, because this is not only machine, this is artificial intelligence.
Okay.
They can show some empathy, like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I can understand how difficult situation when you lost your passport, and this is what you can do to provide new travel document from the nearest Indonesian mission office. First, and SARI itself, we implant the geotagging location.
Okay.
So whenever, let's say, Pak Pane, I lost my passport, even without mentioning the location, of your assistant when you lost passport. Sari can automatically detect your location, and then will provide Pak Pane with the nearest Indonesian mission in your location.
Oh, really? How could he? I mean, this Sari can monitor or just say mention that I live in an area, just say in Hong Kong, for example. But
Yeah.
so how this work from my mobile phone or?
Yes. Because Sari is one special feature in our application Safe Travel Camlo. And this application we implement the geolocation tagging.
Yes.
So the application will automatically detect your location, and then when you ask Sari about how I can contact the nearest Indonesian mission, Sari will automatically guide you to the nearest Indonesian mission, which is our Consulate General in Hong Kong.
Okay, let's take another example. But this case is quite common faced by our migrant workers in abroad. Let's say, my company, my company, my boss, for example, treat me rough, hard. So I want to report this to the authority, local authority, or to the Indonesian mission. So could Sari answer this? So what do I have to do? For example, that's the question. Can Sari answer that question?
Yes. That's the one of the reason we develop Sari, to respond to that kind of question. That, as I mentioned earlier, majority cases is immigration cases and labor cases. So whenever Indonesian citizen face some labor cases, then Sari will provide and guide the particular Indonesian citizen with some services that can be provided by Indonesian mission and by local government, including how they can lodge report to the local authorities.
Okay. Yes. It's really amazing, Pak Judha.
But,
Okay.
I should highlight that this is artificial intelligence.
Yes.
So we have designed Sari could only access information to the official information from related ministry and agencies in Indonesia and also other countries. But since this is artificial intelligence, this is actually a learning machine. So we need to develop and provide more information that Sari can then develop themselves. So that's why we invite all stakeholders, all Indonesian citizen living overseas to use Sari. The more we use Sari, the more Sari will develop themselves and then provide more accurate and comprehensive information.
Okay, good. So this is really amazing, and this is really needed by Voice of Indonesia, Pak Judha, because I just want to tell you one thing that we do last year while we are in the process of general election.
Yes.
So Voice of Indonesia has a program like educated people abroad, the Indonesian migrant workers abroad. So we need data.
Okay.
I'll give you an example. I search data. Okay, I want to know where Indonesian migrant many Indonesian workers work. What country? In what country? So this study will answer that.
Yes.
With accurate data. Because to choose the one country or one city that for this program, we have to know the data of the Indonesian workers. So more Indonesians stay there. So this is better if we have this place for our program. So Sari will answer that.
Yes, in part Sari will answer that. But of course, the way Sari work is to access information from relevant ministry and agencies.
Okay.
So if Pak Pane asks, how many Indonesian citizen living in Malaysia.
Yes.
Then Sari will access information either from us, from Ministry of Foreign Affairs, or from Ministry of Protection of Migrant Workers.
Okay, so now I understand that this information do not merely from the Indonesian Foreign Affairs Ministry.
No, we also connected to other official information.
See.
But since you are asking how many Indonesian living overseas, I can assure you that there is no single answer for that, because we rely on the lapor diri.
Yes.
So there is a register. So according to our law number 23/2006, it is an obligation for all Indonesian citizens living more than 1 year overseas. They have to report to the nearest Indonesian mission.
Yes. Okay.
So we base on that information, and I can share frankly that the willingness of Indonesians to report themselves to the nearest Indonesian mission is quite low. So the number we provide, for let's say, if you ask me how many Indonesian living overseas, I can share that according to our registration report, there are around 2.5 million.
2.5 million
Indonesian living overseas based on registration.
Yeah.
But if Apane ask me how many actual number of Indonesian living overseas, it's only God who knows.
Yes, of course.
So that's why if you ask Sari will crawl the data from official, and then official number is based on registration report. So this is how we also would like to share with all the audience about how to expect from Sari, because we rely on official data from relevant ministry and agencies.
Okay, Pak Judha, I want to go trace back a little bit on the data. 97 cases.
97,000.
97,000 cases, and I believe that the Indonesian Foreign Affairs, from the Directorate of Protection of Indonesian Citizens, working hard to minimize or to reduce this number. So what protection and prevention? I think prevention is better than protection. So, what sort of prevention efforts have been done by the Indonesian Foreign Affairs Ministry, especially the Director of Protection of the Indonesian citizen?
Yes, Pak. I could not agree more to you, Pak Pane, about prevention is more important than mitigating the cases, because if we are only allocating our resources to solve the cases, and then we forgot on how to prevent the cases, the new cases will come.
Yes.
I can share you the data of Indonesian facing death penalty officers.
Yeah.
So in 2023, we have been successfully released 19 Indonesian national from death penalty. But the new case for death penalty in the same year is 25.
25. Wow.
So
bigger
number. So that's why we always say to our stakeholder that yes, this is the role and the responsibility of the state and government to provide protection and solve the problem, but we cannot only doing that. We should cooperate together, collaborate on how to provide effective prevention. Okay. And when we are talking about effective prevention, we should provide prevention from the Indonesia.
Yeah.
From Indonesia. When we are talking about migration process, there are 3 phases of migration: before placement, before going overseas,
yes,
during employment,
yes,
in overseas, and after migration when they are returning to
back.
Indonesia. So when we are talking about prevention, we should start the prevention action from the very beginning, before they are going overseas. And that's the role of providing accurate information to candidate of Indonesian migrant workers. Before they are doing migration, we should provide with accurate information about the job description, about the employment contract, about the immigration law, about the customs in country of destination. So they are fully prepared before they are going overseas. That's the most important prevention step we should do.
Good. Yeah, Pak Judha, we also get data from the UN Women, United Nations Women, that 80% of the Indonesian migrant workers are women.
Yeah.
So is the issue of protecting Indonesian citizens also influenced by gender? So if so how does the Minister of Foreign Affairs handle this?
Correct. That majority of Indonesian migrant workers are coming from women.
Okay.
And that's why we need to create public services which is gender responsive. And that's why we create SARI.
Yes.
SARI actually dedicated for women migrant workers. That's why we collaborate with UN Women. So the important thing about SARI is SARI can give empathetic response,
Yes.
not judging, and so on. When we are talking about women migrant workers, especially working in those domestic sector,
Yes.
we are talking about vulnerable groups. And when we are dealing with vulnerable groups, we have to use special approach. We have to understand about their situation. We have to give them empathy.
Yes.
We cannot judging them about what they are facing overseas. That's what we call it responsive gender. And we designed SARI to address this issue.
Yeah, that's empathy is important for SARI.
Empathy.
Yes.
Like
we are talking.
We are talking as a man.
Yes.
As a man, maybe
human. Yeah.
Yeah. As a man, maybe we are not quite sensitive about empathy.
Yes.
But when we are taking women, especially they are having problem, giving empathy is part of the solution. So this is my experience. When we are dealing with women migrant workers who have, like say, sexual abuse, in our procedure, we cannot assign male staff to do the interview.
Yes.
Because there's some barrier for the victim to express themselves.
Yes.
That's why we assign female staff to interview them. That's one of the responsive gender. And because this is artificial intelligence, they can also show some empathy and respect like that.
Okay.
So how we can create a safe space and comfort zone for victim to report themselves and to express what cases they are facing.
Okay. My last question, Pak Judha. Voice of Indonesia play its role as a second track diplomacy. We inform good things from Indonesia abroad, and we inform everything about Indonesia for people who want to come to Indonesia, visiting Indonesia. So, as a media, how important do you assess the role of media in disseminating this information on about protection, and better if we have prevention for the Indonesian citizens while we planning to go abroad and while you are already abroad? As you mentioned, there are three stages. Before leaving, while staying and returning back to Indonesia.
Yes.
So how important the role of media in disseminating this information to the people of Indonesia abroad and maybe foreign people who wants to come to Indonesia?
Very important. Media play a pivotal role for disseminating information. We, the government, have limited capacity to reach our communities, be it in Indonesia as well as overseas. As I mentioned earlier, that providing accurate information, easy access, affordable, accurate information is a key for prevention. And media have their own network to reach Indonesian people still in Indonesia and as well as Indonesian living overseas. That's why we need to collaborate. That's why I'm very happy that we can launch Sari in RRI. So this is kind of a good collaboration between Ministry of Foreign Affairs and RRI on how we can reach and educate and disseminate information to the broader audience, be it Indonesia as well as in overseas.
Okay. Just for quick and short, Pak Judha, there's the camera, your message to Indonesian people living abroad about this protection and prevention, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Again, this is a great pleasure for me and for Ministry of Foreign Affairs to join this Voice of Indonesia. First, this is the responsibility of the state and government to provide protection for all Indonesian living overseas. But for doing that, we cannot do it alone. We need assistance, we need cooperation and collaboration from all stakeholders, including media, RRI, and then you all, Indonesian living overseas. So the most important thing is how we can collaborate together to help other fellow Indonesian who face problem. And secondly, the most other important thing is how we can provide effective prevention. Start from the beginning in Indonesia until during their stay in overseas, and then while they are returning to Indonesia. So again, this is a great pleasure for us, and we look forward to working closely with you all.
Thank you, Pak Judha.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, viewers and listeners of Voice of Indonesia, that's my very amazing, important, valuable conversation with Pak Judha Nugraha, the Director of Protection of the Indonesian citizen of the Indonesian Foreign Affairs Ministry in Jakarta. And I hope that what we are the very valuable information from Pak Judha will make us living better abroad and safer abroad, like it is from Safe Travel. Yes, Pak Judha. Once again, thank you very much, and I'm Daulat Pane. See you next time.
Voice of Indonesia.